This is the plaintiff, Zarna Nieves. She says she gave the defendant a deposit on a place he was renting. And the day she was to move in, the government pulled the program which was going to assist her paying the rent. The defendant re-rented the place, but refuses to refund her security. And she hopes the judge can get her money back because she has been unable to thus far. She's suing for $1,200, the amount of her deposit. This is the defendant, Robert Jones. He says the plaintiff's deposit is non-refundable because he held the apartment for her while she tried to work things out. He had no idea if she was going to hold on to her end of the bargain, so after waiting in limbo for months, he had to start showing it again because he had a mortgage to pay. He is accused of tough landlording.
All parties, please raise your right hands.
Welcome back to the People's Court. Next case on the docket. The plaintiff gave the defendant a deposit on an apartment, but the government pulled this assistance program for renters, and the plaintiff can't afford to do it anymore, wants the deposit back. The defendant saying that the plaintiff simply waited too long. It's the case of crib tales.
Thank you, Douglas.
You're welcome.
Okay, Zarna Nieves, you are suing Robert Jones for $1,200, the amount of a security deposit that you left with him in order to get an apartment, and that didn't end up working out. Now, my understanding is you need to wear your sunglasses and keep them on for medical reasons, and that's fine. Can you tell me what happened, Ms. Nieves?
Basically, I was issued with a voucher on November 25th, 2010. So I stayed in the shelter.
I'm sorry, you were in a shelter?
Yes.
How long had you been in a shelter?
I've been in it since June 28th of last year.
Okay, do you have children?
Yes, I have 4.
4 children?
Yes.
Okay, and so you were issued a voucher. Explain what you mean.
Basically, the government had a program called Work Advantage. The voucher is to help assist you in paying rent.
Okay,
so you could be self-sufficient.
Okay, so what they're doing is they're helping you to pay your rent.
Yes.
So that you can get out of the shelter.
Yes.
Okay, and how long do they do it for?
They do it for 2 years.
Okay, so you find an apartment you like, and it's the one that Mr. Jones owns?
Yes.
All right, when do you find that?
I found that on January 18th.
January 18th.
Yes.
And do you sign a lease on that day?
No. Actually, once I found the apartment and he offered it, he accepted me as a tenant. We proceeded to do the paperwork.
Okay.
Initially, the apartment has to be inspected.
Okay.
And
when had you been planning to move in? At the time, on January 18th, when did you think you'd be moving in? February 1st?
I was hoping to have been moved in by February 1st or March 1st.
So you start the paperwork, and it has to be inspected, and go on.
And there was like a couple of issues with the inspection.
What were the issues? I'll be right back with you. What were the issues with the inspection?
It was with the window guards.
Okay. And what was the issue with the window guards? It's often the issue with the window guards. And what was the issue?
I was told by the realtor, because the realtor was there at the first inspection, and she told me that the inspector told her to put them on outside, but in reality, they were supposed to be on the inside window track.
Inside track or outside track?
The inside window track. When most windows, they have the bottom window that goes up and down.
But just listen to my question. On the outside of the glass or on the inside of the glass, in the indoors air-conditioned part, or on the outside but inside the track?
The outside of the bottom
inside the track.
window.
Okay. So did you pay to have them moved in to there?
No, because the windows that I had, the top window doesn't come down, so there was no track.
Oh.
And I explained that to the inspector, so going forward, we knew it wouldn't pass.
Okay, but then what happened?
So then the realtor had spoken with my broker had spoken with DHS and said that if we wait till my youngest is 10, then the issue with the window guards wouldn't be an issue. And we would wait till March 21st.
Had you paid him any money at this point?
Yes, I did.
When did you pay him the money?
On February 5th.
February 5th.
Yes.
And how much money did you pay him?
$1,200.
Okay, but what's supposed to happen? You're then out rents in February and March?
Yes.
Wow. I guess there was nobody else knocking on your door trying to rent it either at the time.
Well, there were, but I was holding them off because...
Really?
Yeah, because I had basically promised her the apartment.
Okay, so now it's no longer February 1st, it's 2 months after that, and you agree to that, and then what goes wrong?
What goes wrong is that on my daughter's birthday, my case manager told me that the program had been cut by the governor.
On March 21st?
Yes.
That's the day it got cut?
Yes. Well, I mean, you know,
Happy birthday.
There have been, you know, a lot of stuff in the news about, you know, the governor that he might pull the program and stuff. And so it became a reality on March 21st.
Is this, I'm sorry, forgive my ignorance, is this a New York State program? Or was it a federal program?
New York City.
New York City program?
Yes.
Okay, and when you say he pulled the plug, you're referring to the mayor?
The governor.
Okay, so New York State
the
program?
governor pulled the program, and he said that the mayor should, the mayor's budget should have enough money to cover the program.
Okay, so the state wasn't going to pay for it for residents of the city anymore. Now, what were you shaking your head about?
Because that date is wrong. It got cut before the 21st.
She probably just found out about it on the day it mattered to her.
Well, that was the day that my case.
But either way, it got cut, and what happened then?
So then my broker was like, okay, well, let's go for the one-shot deal.
Which is a different program.
Which is a different program.
Okay.
And basically what that is that they pay the security, they give you security, pay the broker's fee, and they pay first month's rent. And they gave me a bunch of paperwork that I need to have filled out and brought back in order for them to cut the checks. So I emailed the packet to my broker, and she in turn forwarded to his broker and his, just the forms that need to be filled out and stuff. And she got back to me like a couple of days later stating that he wasn't going to fill out his portion because he was getting tired. You know, the whole process was taking too long.
So you tell me what happened. You say that it was well before the 21st that you learned that.
Yes, I found out that the state cut the program before her daughter's birthday. So at that point, she sent a spreadsheet stating that she could still afford the apartment. She still wanted the apartment. So looking at that spreadsheet, she assured me that she could pay, and I agreed to go forward.
But the agreement was that what would happen, that you would occupy the apartment when? April 1st?
No, my understanding was we signed the lease the 21st. She would be in no later than April 1st.
Okay, and then, but she would start paying rent as of April 1st?
Or prior to that.
Okay, and it would be prorated if it was prior to that?
Yes.
All right, and then what happens?
I received no monies. By April 4th, I would say, on about April 4th, I still hadn't heard from her or received any monies. Then I received an email from her broker stating that they wanted me to sign more paperwork, and it would take an additional 3 weeks.
Let me see that email. You know, it's all about whether this $1,200 goes back to you or whether he feels that you breached it.
So does the plaintiff get her deposit back?
I don't think so. She signed the lease.
She signed the lease, but there were extenuating circumstances.
And that's upsetting for the plaintiff, but I don't think you can get the deposit back.
That's so glib of you. Glib. But I agree with you. Going inside the courtroom.
Hi, Yvette. Who's Yvette?
That's my broker, Yvette.
Okay. Please find attached. This is on 4/4, 3 days after you're supposed to have started renting. They said it can take up to 3 weeks because everyone that had a voucher, such as myself, is doing the same thing. But it could be a lot sooner depending on when I get it back. Then I guess Yvette forwards it to you, and you say, good morning all. I do not have another 3 weeks. The bank will have the house in 3 weeks. This is ridiculous. I have been more than patient since January. I cannot afford to wait any longer. I received a portion. Were you having trouble making the mortgage?
Yes, I was.
Okay. Did the bank take your house?
No.
Okay. I received a portion. Did you end up renting it?
Eventually, yes. Somebody rented by the 15th of April.
15th of April. Okay. I received a portion of security in February, and you expect me to wait now until May without any further compensation to secure the apartment? This would make 2 months without rent coming in, and it's still not guaranteed. I have no allegiance to anyone. This is business. Unless I receive a month's rent now, I will continue having others look at the apartment for immediate use and will not return the previous security. Okay. The way this works is I have to look at each time that you agreed to something and figure out, okay, did he give up his right to complain because he agreed to wait, okay? From what I am looking at in your testimony and your testimony, which doesn't really conflict, and the emails that corroborate what he is saying, which is that you're supposed to have moved in no later than April 1st, I am looking at a situation where his last agreement was I'll wait till April 1st. He does not have to keep waiting. The breach occurs by you on April 1st. You are in a bad place right now, and I hope that things get better for you. But you are not immune to contractual obligations. The contractual obligation you have is not in writing. I don't think that it's in writing because she never ended up signing it. You don't have a written lease to show. What it is, very obviously from your realtor, who's your representative's emails, is verbally. And verbally, there was an agreement that you would start paying rent and move in there on April 1st. And when you didn't, then he is allowed to keep a portion of the rent, but not all of the rent, because you had a renter in there by April 15th. So what you are allowed to keep is $850, which is half of it. And the excess, which is an additional $350, goes back to the plaintiff. Verdict for the plaintiff in the amount of $350. I hope you're able to solve your problems and find a way to make it all work for you and your children. Good luck to you, okay? And good luck to you, too.
Is the defendant leaving the courtroom first? What's your feeling on the verdict here?
Well, I feel I should have been able to keep the full $1,200, but I think it was still a fair decision.
Mm-hmm. Put yourself in the plaintiff's shoes. It's tough trying to rent a place and fill out all these forms and go through the government and all that stuff, isn't it?
No, it's not tough.
It's not?
No, it's not. The government has a process, and if you follow it correctly, everything goes smooth.
All right, and that's your business, right? You
Yes.
do that?
Yes, I do.
You don't have any problems?
No.
Wow. All right, you head right down there. A landlord with no problems. All right, step on in here. You satisfied how the judge rules on this one for you?
No, I'm not. I live in the shelter. I'm a single mom with 4 kids, and I was entitled to the whole amount. And
you're still fighting to get out and get an
Yes,
apartment and get your family out of there?
Yes, I'm just trying to be self-sufficient, and so no, I don't really agree with her verdict.
All right, well, good luck.
Thank you.
All right, Harvey?
Bottom line here, he suffered because she delayed in making decisions here and paying the rent, so he's entitled to keep the security. I mean, that's the rule, that's what happened, and that's why he gets it.